Yes, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Jazakallah khair for giving me the opportunity to join with you some discussion. So this will not be a presentation. We will just have some discussions. We'll learn from each other, inshallah ta'ala. I have a good news and a bad news about myself. Brother asked me to introduce myself for those, most of you know me, but for those of you who don't know me, I am originally from Bangladesh, but living in this country over 50 years now, alhamdulillah. When I graduated from Bangladesh Engineering University, at that time, the embassy, US embassy personnel, they went to recruit us directly to come here with the direct immigration. Only thing we needed was one-way ticket, that's all. So at that time, because at that time there was a shortage of engineers in America. But at that time, we thought America is a devil country because whatever they have done, I'm talking about 70s. So I personally decided not to come. And well, I'm here, right? But then after going through the, I graduated, got a job, and when I was at a entry-level job, there was some corruption, as you know. I don't have to tell you, back home in that area. I thought when I go to the top, then I will control things, okay? There will be no corruption, I can stop everything. But it's just the opposite. When I started climbing up the ladder, I was having more and more pressure. So I decided at some point in time, I cannot take it anymore. So I decided to come to America. Now look at this. They were giving us direct immigration, come here, and we didn't come. But then at some point in time, so there is a will, there is a way. I, alhamdulillah, with the blessings of Allah, I came here on a Rotary scholarship. But I did not leave my job. At my young age, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything. I was blessed at a young age. I was a director of a ministry. So I thought maybe I should not leave the job. I should at least keep it. So I came here, leave of absence without pay, so that I can go back. To make the story short, I finished my master's degree, was going to go back. My advisor said, you cannot go. You have to finish your PhD, right? I said, it's not time, it's July, August, session stamps. But anyway, he said, I will take care of everything. I did my master's from University of Wyoming, which is minus 30 degree 9 months. And then I came to Arizona State University for my PhD work, where is 130 degrees, from minus 30 to 130 degrees. You can imagine the contrast. At some point in time, I went to a job interview in New Jersey. At the end of the day, my boss says, okay, what do you think about here? Well, New Jersey is also cold. So I was smiling. I said, well, it's fine. He said, what do you think all this? I said, well, I am all proof. I was in minus 30 degree and I was in 130 degree, right? So this is no problem. Bottom line here, we can adjust, but it is the willpower that we'll have to have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely blessed all of us here. Otherwise, we would not be here, right? At this point, many of us are sleeping. But alhamdulillah, so without Allah's blessings, nothing happened. And I strongly somehow came to my mind that Allah literally can do anything. Everybody knows that, but getting the realization, But the good news and bad news, I said, my bad news was that I had a very bad track record in my career until 2010. Why? Because before I graduate, my advisor sent me to a practical training with a company called General Instrument. It's a New York-based company. This is in Arizona. So I go there and they say, you cannot go back. You have to work with us. So I started, the game is, okay, I know you become a scholarship, you cannot get immigration, we'll get it. We give this and everything. So anyway, I started with them. 2 years later, that company folded, but before they folded, next door was Intel. They invited me to start a new organization, factory automation. That's the first factory automation to at Intel, alhamdulillah. So I go there. In 2 years, that company was not doing too well. So headhunters calls me. There is a company called RCA. And your brother, sister know here, RCA? You know, it's an old company, one of the oldest company, okay? I go there to work for them. In 2 years, they closed down. Because General Electric, you know, it's a hostile takeover, they bought them. So they told me, you have a good news or bad news. Either you are laid off, or you can come to work for us in North Carolina. So I moved to North Carolina. After 2 years, G1 didn't want to have their business, you know, microelectronics. They sold it to Harris. And Harris was a very notorious company, so I didn't want to work for Harris. So I left looking for a job. And one of the brothers sitting here, Brother Omar, you know, I talked to him about the company called AMD. That's where I got a job over here. You know, the job was in Austin, Texas, but I was corporate headquarters was here. So I joined AMD, all right? And then, you know, ups and downs sort of things, they split up, you know. And at that time, I decided to work for National Semiconductor. I came to work for National, and National folded. They gave me a call. You can call it either a, you know, layoff, or you can call it golden handshake. Okay. So you see, from myself, if I look at myself, right, wherever I go, it goes away. The business goes away. Now, what's happening nowadays? You know, when I move here, I live in since I moved 25 years ago from Texas in Santa Clara. There was not too much, but then all kinds of business was booming, and now they are going down, right? Big companies are folding, you know. So you see, nothing. So when I left AMD, National, I said, you know, Muhammad, too much is too much, you know, you're moving around sort of thing. Then I decided, alhamdulillah, again, with Allah's blessing, right now, I am going to a business which will never fail. You know, no layoff, no closing down, okay? So this is the business I'm going to do. And inshallah ta'ala, Allah gave me enough, you know, we don't need too much. So I will work for no money. And guess what? I made the best decision ever in my life. Because as you know, kullu nafsan jaikatul maut. You know, whether we believe it or not, we practice our religion or not, or some atheist or not, but everybody will have to die. What could be a better business than this, right? So that was 2010, right? And as you know, we Muslims, right? We make business, right, in everything. We make business with other companies, with other people, or we can also make business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And Allah's profit is, you know, there is no limit, right? So at that time, we have some brothers from Santa Clara also. Behind Masjid Noor, there was a storage. So we cleaned that up with some handyman, which is Mustafa Masri, some of you know. I'm telling some of the things for some of you brothers here, ask me some questions, I'm answering those questions, okay? Mustafa Masri was my handyman, all right? And I keep pushing him, no education in this area, nothing. And then right now, he is what? Funeral director. You know, Brother Kalim was asking me what kind of background you need. You don't need any background, you just need your intention, all right? So now, there is a full-fledged funeral home. When I was doing this thing, since last 15 years, brothers, believe it or not, at least 1 out of 5 families cannot afford. You know, MC management was telling me, what are you talking about? This is a Silicon Valley high-tech. I said, yeah, there are a lot of people who cannot afford. All of a sudden, if you're the cheapest right now, 5 pillar charge how much? 8,000?
You've got $15,000.
You see? So how people can afford, you know? So what I was doing, I was managing it somehow when there is no money. Either as per the MCA Zakat Fund or some other Zakat Fund or some individual, you know. But then I found out when you go for the Zakat Fund, there is a committee, they have to have a 10-page application, they have to review it and give approval, so on. So by that time, you know, because we have to bury right away, right? For the Muslims, we have to bury right away. We cannot wait, right? So then it came to my mind that, you know, maybe we should do something. And that's led me to this project, the cemetery project. So goal we set up, and then I also got some brothers, young brothers and sisters, and Jafar is one of them, is here, to work as a team and to make this happen. So establish a non-profit organization called Garden of Peace. What else could be, right? That's the only peace we have, right? And I have some background information about 5 pillars. Brother Dr. Inamdar, one of our beloved brother, later Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him and give him Jannatul Firdaus. He was instrumental in establishing these 5 pillars. And I know personally, his goal was to make it a non-profit. But along the way, there was financial need, so he started it. People gave money, they wanted to get return, so it became a business. You know, when I came here, there were lots for sale. Today I'm very rich. I bought 2 of them, 800 each. Now they are 3,000 each, you see. From 800 to 3,000. Just a lot, the plot. Right? And it's going up. It's going up. So that's why we came with this idea that at this point in time, it should not be more than 3,000, the cost. $1,000 for the plot, $2,000 for the service, because we need somebody. Alhamdulillah, so far, we have all volunteers. Even the web page, if you go to, brother, some handout, right? Our web page there, you see, was developed by a young sister who was in a community college student. Now she's in Berkeley. You know, all the communication you are getting, everybody is doing voluntarily. So, but Alhamdulillah, with the blessings of Allah, we found 160 acres, for some of you who don't know, Centinela, which is exactly 1 hour from here. 5 pillars actually takes now longer from here. And by the way, some of you know 5 pillars is getting full, right? And actually, the baby section was full 6 months ago. So now we have to go to either Lodi or Sacramento to bury the infant, you know. Last 6 months ago, it was full. And the adult section is also getting full very soon. And so that's another motivation that we started this project. And you know, as I said, Allah can do anything. We found 160 acres, and some of you visited. It's a beautiful place. We have the lakes, 2 lakes next to it, you know, for $60,000. I mean, $600,000, which is nothing. Actually, we are trying to buy the lot next to it for $2 million. And I said, is there negotiation? Anything can be done? He said, take it or leave it. And we found this lot. It has water in it, electricity in it, couple of sheds also there. Alhamdulillah, blood. You know, it's ready. And then, as you know, getting the approval is another nightmare. Right? 5 pillars. Anybody knows how much land they have? 5 acres. 5 acres. Okay, they started about 25 years ago. Now they do have another 23 acres around it. So total they bought, I think, 28.5 acres. But that, they're not getting permit. So they went 3 times and rejected. So when we went for this, again, we submit to the county of Merced, and we are having pushback. And first time around, there was a hearing, and they decided not to approve. At that time, actually, I was overseas. So when I came back, I talked to the director of planning. I said, what happened? So they sent me a link. You look at this link. And that link was 5 pillars. Well, this is the reason we did not approve it. What is that? That 5 pillars had, some of you may know, lots of violations and complaints. So he said, what is the guarantee you guys will not do the similar violations? So in this business, brothers and sisters,
What kind of complaints?
lots of violations. 60 pages. If you go to the website, you will find. So in this business, it's very simple, but at the same time, it could be very difficult if we don't follow the rule. That's why I'm here to discuss with you. I understand you are trying to establish a washing facility here. So we have to make sure from day one that nothing goes wrong. It's very simple, but if we do not follow everything right, So 5 pillars violation, one of the big violation was the status. They started as a non-profit, and they call religious organization, so they don't pay taxes. Now it's not a non-profit, it's a business. Then I will go over, maybe you can discuss later on, that what are the things we have to do right. MCA funeral home also was shut down a couple times. Inspector comes in front of the door without our knowledge, and then they call, I'm here, okay? We have to go, open the door, they will inspect. So there's a checklist. You brother, sister, know anything about Darda seafood? Darda seafood in Milpitas?
Shut down.
Shut down. Why? Violation. You see? Actually, two days before that, my family came from Sacramento and from other places. We had dinner there, and then I hear it shut down. You see? So there's a checklist you have to follow. So for us, so what I did at that time, that I changed our business plan and statement of all of this stuff to accommodate all of these violations that, we take care of beforehand. That's why they are saying, we don't want you guys to fail. So come back with all of this, following rules and regulations. So what needed, right? You must have an access road, proper. You must have parking space. You must have proper toilet. Those are the business requirement sort of things. And on the top of that, over there, the area, although we got very nice area, very cheap, but that area, that is called endangered or wild animals and species. So some birds, I think there's red fox, those kind of things. So we had to have an environmental study done. So those are the many requirements. So we did all of this thing, put in our plan that we're going to do all of this stuff, and then I reviewed back and forth with the planning director there. Then we had, 2 weeks later, we had another hearing, and alhamdulillah, no question asked. The chairman of the board, they asked, anybody has any complaint? No. Anybody has any question? No. Anybody has any motion? So one of the other council members said, I move the motion to approve. And everybody said, yeah, alhamdulillah. And at that time, so this is they call land use permit, conditional land use permit, that this land can be used as a cemetery. But then you need a business license, right? Like you got here a building permit, so you have the building, you have the facility, but then you need a license to operate as a funeral home, right? So I already had an application in my back pocket, hoping that I'll get approval for the land use permit. So as soon as I got land use permit, I gave the application. And so, oh, you are ahead of the game. It did at least 10 days to get it, at least the process. I said, no problem. Alhamdulillah, exactly after 10 days, they sent me the business license. So we have both to operate. But then we have some conditions, right? So alhamdulillah, with the help from everybody, with the community, we purchased the land, cash purchase, because we have some pre-sale. We are selling plots for $1,000 a piece. So community members from all over, they came forward. So we paid for it. We paid all the fees and everything, alhamdulillah. Then it was $40,000 for the environmental study. So alhamdulillah, that was done. They couldn't find anything, but they put a caveat these wild animals are around, so they may come back. So we have to do some periodic study. There's just some. But anyway, alhamdulillah, so far so good. We are moving forward. Access road, some of you visited us in last our open house. It's done. Brother Faisal, you were there before. Brother Akhil was there this time. All of that done. The parking is done. So we are thinking that we have a portable toilet, and we also have a couple of shades we pray there. So we can start operation. So our goal was to start operation in September, last month. Month, 2 months before. But then they said no. This toilet, portable, only you can use during the construction phase. But when you come the operation, it's a commercial, so it have to be permanent. So that's the fellow right now. So alhamdulillah, we found a sister, volunteer architect. She designed the prayer hall. It's 1,500 square foot prayer hall with 2 toilets, with 1 handicap, as you ADA requirement. And so we have the preliminary design. Now we needed some structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all of this stuff. So alhamdulillah, we found someone, and it's just done, submitted. So now we are waiting for the permit, inshallah. So our goal is to get it done as soon as possible, and so that we can keep moving, inshallah ta'ala. And also, there is another requirement for some landscaping. By the way, Dara is here sitting. He volunteered to donate some trees, and the trees also has to be particular trees, because of the water shortage. So alhamdulillah, he's donating us some olive trees and some date palm trees. Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair. So alhamdulillah, things are happening. Allah is making it's easy for us. Everything is working in place. So our goal, inshallah, as soon as we can done, so the beginning of the next year, to start the operation, inshallah ta'ala.
So remember, you have to work on the septic tank right now.
Septic.
Yes, because it's a county. We have our well getting water and pump, so we have water. We have electricity the previous owner bought, but in that area there is no housing, no nothing, so there is no sewer system. So we have to have our septic. And some of you are in construction, so you brothers know that we cannot have one permit for everything. The building goes to building department, but the design and construction of the septic tank has to be by a health department. And it has to be designed and done by their approved contractors. So we are inshallah moving forward with all of this. The other day we have the soil test done. So yes. Any other questions, and brothers? As we move? Yes, brother.
I have a question. Since
Yes.
you made some comments about 5 pillars, when the project started, I was actively there at Santa Clara, Masjid An-Nur.
Yes.
At that time, MCA was not there.
Yes.
And they sold the lots at $850.
Yes, I got 2 of them.
each.
Yeah.
I also have 2 of those.
Yeah.
My question is that
Yes.
when I use now, are they going to charge me the current price of $3,000, or I'm still eligible for $800?
Yes. They will not charge. Same thing we will do. Okay. So what happens? Let's say you purchase 800. I bought 800 also at the same time. So now we are selling 1,000 here in our project, Garden of Peace. And then there's the service charge, which is the the opening,
Yeah, that's
the
separate.
closing, right? So at this point in time, so 5 pillars has a 2 breakdown, right? The purchase price of the plot and the service charge. So if you have a certificate, they will charge you only the service charge.
At that time in the future.
Whatever.
the charges are.
Correct.
But
So-
the price of the land will remain
Yes,
fixed.
right.
Okay.
Right. That's the benefit, right? So for example, this is a question also related to us, right? So in our case, at this point we are charging pre-sale $1,000 a plot. Let's see, and then by the way, our goal, our main motivation is not a business. Our main motivation is to serve the community. So that's why, and again, I am not young. Some of you already know. I may pass away any time, right? So we put in our constitution, right now 1,000 plot, 2,000 service, and nobody come tomorrow and change, increase it. In our constitution, price cannot be increased, except only to adjust the inflation, because inflation can go up, right? So arbitrarily you cannot change. So let's see, after 10 years, let's see, you bought 2 plots for our project, from our project, 1,000 each. After 10 years, let's see, it is 1,500 or 1,200. But you don't have to, no adjustment, because you already have a certificate. What we are doing right now, so we learn from others' mistake, you know. You see, the smart people learn from other mistakes, the dumb people don't, right? So we learn, so what we are doing, we are now plot for sale, but you can purchase a plot 2 ways. One for your use. Your use means you or your friend or whatever. Or you can purchase to donate. All right? So for example, as I said, that in my experience, 1 out of 5 cannot afford. So in our project, it's built in. So if you purchase a plot or 2 plots to donate for the needy, what we are doing, we are setting aside that lot. We have a list. So when someone comes, doesn't have the money, we give that plot to them. So far, but then you purchase. So when you are purchasing for yourself, let's say you purchase 3 plots for yourself and 2 plots to donate. You will get 3 certificates for 3 plots. Okay? You will not get 5. You will get 3 certificates for the 3 plots you purchase. And the other 2 that you donating, you will get receipt for the tax purposes.
So it is tax deductible,
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
it's a for-profit business, right?
No, we are non-profit.
A non-profit.
501c.
But business permit, a non-profit.
501c3.
Okay.
So did I answer your question, brother?
Yeah, but when are you opening officially for first burial? Because 5 pillar is filling very fast.
Yeah.
Will you be opening in time so people can switch
As I
over?
said, our goal was to open in last September,
Okay.
but the county did not allow us because they want to have a permanent toilet.
Yeah.
So we are moving as fast as we can, as soon as that is done, which is, beginning next year, inshallah.
Okay.
Okay, you have a question, brother?
You mentioned that the prices you set 1,000 for a plot and 2,000 for a.
At this time, yes.
So you said you have put in a clause that nobody can change it.
Until, except to exhaust inflation.
The inflation, right?
Yes.
So other than that, if any committee in the future comes and decide to change, they cannot change it, or is this something permanent?
They have to change the constitution before
Right.
they can change it, because we put down in our
So
constitution.
that can be changed,
Yes.
right? Because what I understand, the services, the labor today is different, and the future is going to be different. So just the inflation may not be good enough to cover those expenses.
Expenses may change, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yes.
is the price for the plots still, what is the price now, current price for the
Okay.
plot?
Excuse me. We have a 3 cycle of sales because I'm a little bit conservative person, okay? I raise money only whatever we need at that time. No extra money left. So we sold the first phase, and the money we got, we paid for the property and all the related cost. Then, to make the condition, the road and this and that, okay, we had a second sale, right? But the price was same. Right now, we have a 3rd sale going on, and this is the final sale, inshallah. And we need some money to construct the prayer hall and 2 toilets. So, and this is open initially end of this month, but we extended to end of this year.
And price is still the same?
Price still the same. As we said, we will try to keep the price, not to extend if we have to use brother.
Do you have a count number of plots so far sold and how much of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Price cap.
Okay. Brother, ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a count how many sold and how many available? Okay. All right. We don't have any limit. It is unlimited. You know why unlimited? I came here 25 years ago. when 5 pillars just started, right? And today still some plots are left, right? We are talking about 160 acres. By the way, for the non-Muslims cemetery, 1 acre you have 1200 plots. For Muslim cemetery, for 1 acre we have 1000 plots. You know why less? Because the non-Muslim walk on the grave, no problem. For us we cannot, right? So we keep aisle. That's why, so if you calculate, we have 160 acres, 160,000 plots. It will go forever, so limit. But we are not going to continue this pre-sale, right? Because we are selling only to get the money to get the project done. So we don't have any limit until the end of this year, then we'll close, inshallah ta'ala. So far, we sold around 1,000. Yes, brother.
Yeah, the two things you have to do yet, right? The toilets and the septic tank.
Well, the septic tank is a part of the toilet, yeah.
Oh, okay. So have the drawing been approved, design is approved from the city or county?
Okay. For the building, we just submitted the plan,
I see.
okay? Because I say our volunteer sister did the design, but then you need structural and electrical, mechanical, plumbing, roofing, all this stuff. So it is complete, and then we are waiting for the approval. So that is the building department. For the septic tank, actually last week, first we have to do the soil test. That was done. And the person with the soil test is also designing. So the design should be done also next week, inshallah.
So is the process.
How do you buy plots? Go ahead.
Yes, brother.
I was asking, how do you buy the plot?
Okay, you have a piece of paper in front of you, I mean
Yeah.
flyers?
Yeah, it's a donation here, but not.
No, go to our website.
Okay.
As soon as you go to our website, alhamdulillah, all the informations are there. You have to pledge for the plot, okay? And then over there it says donation or purchase, all right? And then you send the money. This money, we are recommending not to send any credit card because it charges 5-6%, okay? So you can do either check or gel or whatever. All the information are there, okay? Now here's the process. Let me give you the process so there's no confusion. Everything is automated. If you follow the instruction, everything is smooth, you get immediate response, okay? Some of you have done it, can testify, all right? But if you don't follow, there may be problem, all right? So you fill it out, everything, you give your email, immediately you will say thank you, blah, blah, blah. After you send the money, whatever way, as soon as the money is cashed, that means deposited, you have to wait a few days, okay? Deposited, then you get letter that you got, then you'll be asked for some information. And let me clarify that information so that everybody benefits. It will ask who is the owner. So although you give money, somebody else could make the owner. That means I am the owner. And then you say who is authorized. Let's say you bought 5 plots. And then somebody died, your friend or a family member, you like to use it, okay? So somebody has to authorize that, yes, they can use this plot. And on the back of that will be the user who passed away. To give you a specific example, the Bosnian community, they purchased 100 plots. Okay, Bosnian community. Many communities bought. Bosnian, Somali, many masjids also bought. So Bosnian bought 100. Give an example. And we gave that owner was the Bosnian Islamic Center. Okay, authorized was the president. So whoever the current president and you can be more, president, treasurer, whatever. You decide. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. In personal case, maybe me, my wife, or my children, owner. And then in the back is blank. So now they have 100 certificates. When somebody in the community passes away, they do write his name and take the certificate with the mayan, right? This brother had a question.
The 5 pillars has their own concept of a grave. They use rocks and bricks. Are you going to be green grass or are you going to be like them?
So brother, how I got this idea, all right? My younger brother passed away a few years ago in LA. And then 5 weeks later, my younger sister's husband passed away. So my brother passed away. I was trying to bury him in a Muslim cemetery, right? Because over here I preach people to bury in 5 pillars, Muslim cemetery. And believe it or not, there is not a single Muslim cemetery in Greater LA. They have so many Muslim communities, so many old mosques, no Muslim cemetery. They claim Muslim, it's not. What is it? Like a chapel of chimes. In one corner, they bought some plots. In the Christian cemetery, they call Muslim. You see? I said, no way, I'm not going to do that. If needed, I'll take back to Santa Clara, to San Jose.
No, but that's not my question.
I'm giving you answer, but long answer. I give long answer everything. So, there is a will, there is a will. I'm looking and looking, and I found a place, Palmdale. There was a small Afghan community, and one Afghan doctor, may Allah bless his soul and his family, purchased 100 acres and donated for the cemetery, okay? With the condition, the price will be just cost. So where I get this idea, 3,000, that's what I got the idea. So they were selling at $3,000, complete service, right? And when I called them, they said, did your brother already passed away? I said, no. The doctor told me he will pass away anytime. He said, okay, hang up the phone. Call me later when he's really dead. You see? These brothers follow Sunnah 100%, Quran and Sunnah. Then, when I call my brother passed, he said, okay, if you follow Quran and Sunnah strictly, only then we will help you. Otherwise, go someplace else. Okay? What is that? So they do the cover exactly the way we do back home. No concrete, no cement, no lining. All right? Actually, last 8 years, I was doing a lot of research. And I found out, excuse me, the casket is not a requirement by the country, by the state. It is a requirement by the cemetery to make money. So 5 pillars, you take in a cardboard box, right? Over there, they have the cemetery, next to it is a small masjid and a small washing place. So they even don't use cardboard. They wash, wrap, carry to the masjid next door, janaza, and the bury. No concrete lining, no vault, no nothing. Right? So this is not a state requirement. So in this case, I actually, when I developed the business plan, I put there, and it is called natural burial. So far, no objection. It is approved as is. So until there is objection, we'll be doing natural burial, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? So there will be nothing, no concrete, no nothing, no lining, right? But again, if they change the law or something, then actually also there is a big group of Christian and Jewish community. They are actually pushing hard for this natural burial.
When you say natural, you just put dirt on it?
I was asking about the surface. Is that going to be green grass or is that going to be like?
Okay. So it will be, as I said, exactly like back home. So what happens in back home? And also, if you notice, if you go to the cemetery to watch, what they do, they pound on the, right, with machine. So we don't do that, right, back home. We just put a mound of dirt and gradually it settles down. Now, here, only thing will be, there'll be no sign, no nothing. If you go to Jeddah, you have seen the gate there. No, nothing, right? Only we have an optional headstone, and that headstone will be standard. So if somebody would like to do that, that will be optional, right? But it will be standard. You cannot do anything, and nothing else. Very simple. If you look at 5 pillars, the left section is a mess, right? Somebody has a big tree, somebody has flowers, somebody like a monument sort of thing. So when they started the second phase, we all got together and decided that will be all standard, same. So now on the right side, it's all same. So inshallah, there will be all very simple. We will just maintain it, but there will be no monument, no, permanent.
No names.
Now you're saying, as I said, okay, there will be no names, no nothing, okay?
But how would somebody know where to go?
Yes, go to Jeddah. the
No, I'm not.
Let's take,
If
so
some
let's
family
take
member
one
comes-
question. Hafiz bhai, let's just finish
Yes.
one.
Was,
yes,
I can go to the Chapel of Chimes.
yes,
And the graves are not demarcated, it's basically the headstone and it's all green grass.
yes,
If I go to 5 Pillars.
yes,
It's a totally different setup.
Yes.
Where each grave is demarcated, there's rocks in the middle.
yes.
So, which one are you conceiving?
None of those. It will be very simple.
So you won't have any green grass
No,
on
nothing.
top, you just have whatever
Yes,
is there right
yes,
now?
yes.
So I
But
think
we'll
the first
maintain,
question from Hafiz bhai.
but we'll maintain, okay, for any, so that it looks nice. It's not ugly, okay?
So Brother Ibrahim, the question I think from Hafiz bhai and others is, how do you find your grave?
Okay, yes. So when I say go to Jeddah, and you will find out what they do, and we'll be doing that. And go to also Palmdale, they do that. So we will have marking every aisle, let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then the graves will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? You see? So by the way, this is a law. We have to follow the law. This is a law. An address of the grave must be there. Okay? So like apartment A3, B39. Okay? So there will be a chart. Alright? Because what happens, I give an example, practical example. In 5 Pillars, we buried a young boy, 4 years old. Alright? It was a certificate, natural death, everything. After about 6 weeks, police comes, dig the grave. How the police will dig that grave? So you have to have an address. Actually, what happened, brothers and sisters, without burial permit, nobody can bury, right? What is a burial permit? Burial permit is approval by the county to bury, right? Now, there is a prerequisite for the burial permit. The prerequisite for the burial permit is death certificate. Okay? So those are some of the things that we can discuss, Brother Kalim, how to go about all of this, right? And there are some tips I can provide. By the way, if you go to your website, Evergreen Islamic Center, go under services, and you will find funeral services. And most of the information are there, by the way, your website. Also, it is in our
The
website.
question that I have, and
Yes,
maybe
brother.
some other people's mind, is if somebody wants to put some name.
Yes, yes. We thought about that. Like, by the way, as you know, I am in this business for last 15 plus years. Okay, so I visited all the Muslim cemeteries in California. So yes, but that will be optional.
Okay.
So
But
there
if you want, you can do that.
we have standard for that, right,
Standard.
Jafar? We have a standard. So if somebody would like, okay, we also we will have a contractor. Like 5 Pillars, what they do? They have a contractor, outside contractor. We have couple contractors, but they will do exactly same way, name, date, and those kind of things. All right? Yes. So this is optional. This is the only part optional. Nothing else. Did I answer the question? Yes. Yes, brother. Omar.
I'm still confused. How somebody find
Okay.
who's buried?
Yeah. Okay, that is brother. I'll come back. Yes, brother.
The flag or the identifier, would it be a vertical one or horizontal on the ground itself?
Good question. Actually, honestly speaking, we have not finally decided yet because our land is a kind of, hilly sort of thing. So those are two options. We have not finalized yet. Yes, yes, brother.
No, I was saying you have B3, M5s.
No, he's saying you can put the name if
Put
you
the
want.
name. He said
He
you
just
can.
said you can
Optional.
put the name.
Optional.
You can put a tombstone with
If
it.
you don't
You can
want
put
to,
your
that's
own,
fine.
you can make your own
No,
stone and
no, standard. It will be standard, but you can have it's like three pillars.
Okay,
5
for,
pillars, like-
for example, I don't want myself, okay? So I don't want myself, right? But he wants. So he has an option.
Yeah, I have an option.
But you don't make it. If you want it, we will have a contractor who will make it for you.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, brother. Brother Faisal.
So yes, couple of questions, two questions, right? One, Garden of Peace, do you offer services from, like you just said, from start to finish? Like somebody dies,
Thank you.
county,
Thank you.
coroner's office, all of that?
Thank
Do you offer that? start to finish, for somebody who may not be familiar with the process, and I heard it's going to be a painful process. Yeah?
Thank you, thank you.
So the second question I have is,
Good
do
question.
you also offer, like you were saying earlier, option for people to wash the ghusl khana there on site itself?
Thank you, brother.
Those are my two questions.
Thank you. That's my presentation. Thank you. Okay. So, concept we have is a one-stop shopping. Okay? And I am doing it right now. Alhamdulillah. Allah bless me. If I get a call, and I get a lot of calls, personal, not funeral home. If I get a call, I take A to Z, done. You don't have to worry about anything. Family released. Okay? How I do that? All right? So, how I do that? And I work with most of the Muslim and non-Muslim funeral homes. All right? MC, as you know, I started it and I volunteer all the time. I wash myself. Okay? I also work with Lowry Masjid and whoever. By the way, for brothers, you are doing things, I will give you some warning. It's not a warning in a negative sense, so that you... There was licensed facility in many places in the Bay Area. And right now, they don't. Lowry Masjid is washing, it's illegal. They are not certified.
I know that.
They lost their service. Abu Bakr Masjid is doing illegal. They lost their license. And I can name. Okay? I can name because I wash there, I know. And I do illegal. I go there wash, but it's illegal. You know why? Those places, brother, it is difficult to get a license. It is very easy to lose it. And they never went back to renew. Okay? So, my goal, our organization goal, is to one-stop shopping. Whether we provide ourselves or we provide to somebody else. So, to walk you through, by the way, before I forget, yes indeed, I have in mind to have a ghusl khana right there. But I am not telling anybody, secret. Why? I learned my lesson. Right? Look at the Cordoba project. Cordoba? Or Granada? What they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right?
16 acres of land, beautiful place, sitting idle. For how many years? Many years. You know why? They will have a masjid, a Islamic school, a regular school, a youth center, a cemetery, a funeral home, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. So I am working the opposite end. Okay? We have only asked permit for the cemetery. Once I start operation, they cannot stop, right? Then we're going to go for the ghusl khana. And actually, okay, it is secret. The building we are designing, the masjid, we do not need a masjid there, right? And that masjid is a ghusl khana also. Okay, you'll know later on, not now. The way I designed it.
We didn't hear that from you.
Yes. So, the day we start operation, next day I will go to get a permit for that. But that is only if somebody do ghusl over there. But over here, for example, I offered my help. I talked to Brother I talked to Brother Kalim, that as you know, I work for free. I volunteer for free my full time. So I'll be more than happy to help you with anything you need here. Okay. By the way, also I need volunteers. Again, Jafar, you may pass around if somebody would like to sign up. Because I get a lot of calls from non-Muslim organizations. Like the other day I got a call from a Burlingame cemetery. Some Asian brothers, okay. What I need here, anybody would like to volunteers? Put your name, phone number and address. So I got a call from Burlingame. Okay, some Asian.
So the question would be, what would be the expectation from the volunteers so they can decide?
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
they can or not? What would you expect from the volunteers?
Okay, volunteers in this particular volunteering, just washing, shouting, washing and shouting.
I see.
Yeah. So got a call from Burlingame, right? A Chinese person passed away. His family doesn't practice, and so they took him over there. But the man has a will. By the way, that's important. The man has a will that he must be buried as a Muslim. So I got a call somehow. I don't know how they got my number, but I got a call. So in this case, it was a male. I took a couple of other brothers. And by the way, in my house, I have a bag ready with the coffin, towels, whatever you need. It's ready. We go, wash, and then it was daughter of the man. He was looking at me, and she was trying to say something. you know. So I said, sister, go ahead. Okay. She said, I'm embarrassed. I also need help with the burial. He said, don't worry, we are here. So alhamdulillah, we did that. Now, that's why, and then I get a call, one day I got a call from Santa Cruz. Okay, so that's why I am putting together a virtual list of volunteers. You know, actually 3 days ago, I got a call from the Abu Bakr Masjid. Our sister passed away, there is nobody to wash. So if we have volunteers all over the area, based on that, we can help. And we'll train them, by the way. We'll train them how to do the ghusl. And brother, you have a question?
Yeah, then there's two more questions, one from you and one
Yes.
from you.
Yes, brother.
I remember about 20 years ago or something, a law was passed in California. You can wash your loved one if he dies at your home. You can do that at your home, shroud it, and then send it to the cemetery.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, you can wash it at your home. It's a California law.
Oh, that's interesting.
In the bathtub?
Very nice.
Brother, do you remember that law so we can follow up?
Yeah.
Well, I remember it that this was the case, and I always had a thought in my mind. I even told my wife, if I die, put me in the garage, wash me there and everything, and then send me to cemetery.
So there's
Another question?
Saeed Chaudhary, sir, you have a
Yeah,
question?
Brother Said, you have a question? Yes.
One thing
Yes.
okay, I was thinking that, you know, on the top of the
Yeah.
grave or that area, isn't it better to have something to avoid the drainage, you know? Otherwise, if you don't put grass or anything on the top of the grave or that area, there's a lot of water and, the dirt, there'll be, drainage. So do you suggest we should have something on the top, grass or something?
Well, brother, Jazakallah khair. Actually, we need help, right? I mean, actually, that's why we have discussion here. Anybody can help us, we are not there yet, right? So inshallah, we can always improve. So what I'm thinking, by the way, also, all of us are volunteers, but we will have only one employee. And I have seen that one employee is good enough. So that employee, what they will do, and why I'm saying that I need your help, that employee will be responsible for the digging and the covering, those kind of things, but it takes only a couple of hours, right? But the rest of the time, he will be doing this development, keep it nice and clean, those kind of things. So if you know someone, please help us.
I can help you in some ways.
Okay.
My field is construction, management.
So that's something we are looking at. Now, another thing I was going to mention, brother, I'm not going to sit here and embarrass you, but I'm just asking for your help just to identify. Who here has a will?
Huh?
Will.
Will.
Last will, testament, what do you call it?
I have it.
Okay. Again, I'm not just giving you, brother, some ulama can tell you, this is obligatory.
Yes.
A living will testament is a fard. It's not a fard kafaya, it's fard. You must do it, brother. Please, please. I cannot overemphasize from my experience. Okay? I can walk you through many experiences what happens. Right? When somebody dies, somebody has to authorize to go pick up the body. Alright? And who is that somebody? Immediate family. What happens if the immediate family is not there? It could happen. I can give you tons of examples. Okay? Then what happens? And again, I am not giving you story. In my last 15 years, I have seen at least 5 cases like that. At least. Okay? What happens? Government will take away the body. And what government does? Any idea?
Cremate.
Cremate. Why? That's the cheapest. $600. Okay? Do you want to make that happen? Right? So it is an obligatory. You can ask any ulama. And again, go to your website. It is mentioned there also with some reference to have a will. At least the minimum. Now, I am requesting the management here to help the people who doesn't have it. Okay? And I talked to MCA. They said, brother Muhammad, it's a great idea, but never did it. Very simple thing. What is that? Have a business card. I'm begging to the management here. Make a business card for everybody. Business card. I, and then blank. And then you say, belong to this community. When I die, I need to be buried as a Muslim, contact this number. As simple as that. That is a will. by the way. As simple as that, okay? Now what happens, just very quickly, somebody died in, not too long ago, in Oakland. 5-6 days passed by, okay, his family was not here, overseas. And then the neighbors called the police from the smell. And the police comes, takes away the body. All right? And then somehow I learned about it, and then I was trying to find any relative, because without authorization, you have a Evergreen Islamic Center funeral home, you're not allowed to go. You need authorization. That's the first step. All right? So I was looking for a clue, could not find it. But you know, there's a will, there's a way, Allah can help, right? Finally, we found a scribbled notes from his landlord. He was a Chinese guy. You know, he said, well, maybe I have something. And it says, I am a Muslim. As simple as that. I need to be buried Islamically. That's the minimum you can do. So if you go to your web page, you can go right after this. There is a form there. You just fill it out. Or the Masjid committee can help. You know, 2x4, just a business card. And you keep it in wallet. You know, brother, I was almost dead.
You are talking about a form. Where is it available?
No, he's talking about, I think he's talking about just a small little card that the masjid can give out, where you can just say that I'm a Muslim part of this community. So you will not.
And the phone number.
And some phone number.
It's not a legal document, it's just somebody's personal number.
Yeah. Like some masjid have done it. San Diego, for example, there are 2 masjid have done it. You know, at least something. Since you don't have it, at least something. Yes, brother.
So, brother, I think we can suggest that we have this form on the website where somebody can just fill it out and the masjid will have a record of it. So it basically says all of these members are Muslims and they would want to be buried.
Actually, you have it.
Okay.
I have seen it last night. It is there.
Perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, so on the website.
Yes. But,
So in your living will, my attorney write it down. If after I die, within 6 months, my daughter didn't show up, then go to temple, go to whatever, and then another 6 months, that person didn't respond, then I go to here and there. Can we do that?
well, those are you go to lawyer, those are more sophisticated. But the minimum you can do is write something down.
Something you can write.
Right.
All right, so we are maybe just taking the last one question or so.
Other one important thing I will mention.
Yeah.
Other important thing I will mention. This is regarding the funeral. By the way, there are 2 services. Okay, 2 parts of the services when somebody dies. Part A is a funeral. Funeral service include picking up the body, storing the body. Okay, then arrange for the ghusl, shrouding, janaza, and take the body to the place that family likes to be buried. Right? That's the funeral part. That's the funeral like our Evergreen funeral can do it, right? The burial part is very simple. You know, the plot and the burial process. Those are 2 processes. Now, where to die? All right? Where you want to die? Okay? Do you not die at your home or hospital? Well, you don't decide, but I'm giving you an example of how, okay? The best death for the purposes of the paperwork is the hospice. Okay? Because when somebody goes to hospice, it is easy to get the death certificate. All right? The next is the hospital. Now, what happens if somebody dies in a nursing home? Okay? They will ask the family to have a funeral home come pick it up within 2 hours. Because 2 hours, right after 2 hours, the body starts decaying, believe it or not. If you don't pick up, they will call a funeral home of their choice and they send it. Yeah. Now, so, but what happens at home? This is the most difficult part, okay, the home. When somebody dies at home, you don't call funeral home. You call 911, all right? 911 will send the ER, a policeman, and of course fire brigade, right? Why policeman? This policeman is not a normal policeman. This policeman is a trained policeman to interrogate. So they will ask some question to the family, all right? If they have any suspicion that these days was not normal, police will send the body to the morgue, the coroner's office, which is for the autopsy, those kind of things. But if they are happy, they're normal, talking to the family, they will release the body. Then you call the funeral, all right, to pick up the body. So this is very important. We should be ready. For example, I have my death form is ready. It's easy, so that way it is here.
What's a death form?
Well, you have to fill out a lot of forms. The most important information is the social security, your correct name. And by the way, people from the subcontinent has a big problem, all right? First name and last name, all right? Your name must be exactly as your driver license or your passport sort of thing. Or your social.
So you can fill the death form.
Yeah, before that. And your social security number, all right? Your birth of death and place of, the place and date of birth. Those are the primary information, okay? You have to provide. So, leave that handy, and the doctor, by the way, I had just a case, life is a learning. I learned something last 2 weeks ago. A Pakistani young brother passed away, he's in 40s, all right? We have hard time getting his death certificate. Why? Because he never went to any doctor. So who is going to give? So if you are hospital, the doctor gives you, but if you are home, then your primary physician. If you don't have one, that's a tough, then they will send for the postmortem.
Wow.
Yes, brother.
So after you die, and the funeral home will ask you if you want to burn it or bury it. If you burn it, put it into ashes, so that ashes basically legally is a fertilizer. Then you can dispose any way you want. You can put it in the street, in the backyard, or whatever, right?
I did not mention that because in Islam it is not permissible.
Yeah, okay.
In Islam, we don't cremate.
All right, so we are wrapping up now. Thank you so much for your questions, and may Allah reward you, Brother Ibrahim. I think I just want to recap your message to the community. Like, just recap it in 1 minute. What is your ask to the community?
Now, I am not going to ask the community to buy plot, okay? But you can buy to help us, right? But that's not my main message. Main message, you must have a will.
Okay.
All right? You must have a will that you are a Muslim, you should be buried. That's the minimum you should have. All right? And very important. And then keeping tie with your local community. And then also, my another message that we all should help to the best, because...
Well, I think plot is one, right? That's important. That's very relevant to everybody.
Yes.
Number 2 is volunteers that you've just given the name. So volunteer in any way possible. These are the 2 action items that we can do to support you, right?
On the top of that, which I always ask, I never ask for money because Allah will subhanahu wa ta'ala will arrange it. But what I ask for, dua. Please make dua sincerely for the project.
Correct. No, absolutely. I think donations would be very, very good. And may Allah reward you, Brother Ibrahim. I don't think, I fail to understand how people are so selfless, because I am not. How you are so selfless. May Allah reward you with abundance in this world. Jazakallah.
Thanks again, brothers and sisters, for listening. And I will be around. If you have any specific question, I'll be more than happy to answer it. Okay. Jazakallah khair for giving me opportunity. Assalamu alaikum.